Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. This is Scalp Clinic, and we are here today to talk about needles in SMP, which ones we use and why they are important. So there's two brands that are the best in the market: Bishop SMP and Killer Beauties. They're both pretty much the same, and what's different is the sizes. The Bishop SMP, the sizes are a bit smaller, and that's for extremely fine work. But the Killer Beauties, they're still good, but they are a little bit bigger. So when I say a little bit bigger, they come in 0.25 and 0.3, and the Bishop SMP come with 0.2 and 0.3. So why are needles very important? They're important because if you don't get the right needles, or if you don't get like good expensive needles, and you get cheap brands, you can completely destroy someone's head. Mainly because if you use cheap brands, they break easily, and if you're using it and they break while you're inserting into a scalp, that could be hugely dangerous because you could be spraying ink all over the head and inside the head as well. So it could come out to be really disastrous. Other reasons is sometimes when you dig into the scalp, the skin gets stuck in the cheaper needles, and when that happens more often, again, you can get a really botched job. So it's very important to invest in good needles, or the best needles, because they do the best job really. And if you do go to an SMP client or to a consultant, make sure you ask them what needles you use. If they say anything outside Bishop or Killer Beauties, then you know that they don't know what they're talking about. They might probably just end up buying a whole lot from China, which you don't even know, which might be very cheap. So just avoid that, guys. And also, you know, it's good to know about needles as well. So if you're looking to get your head done by someone and they don't know anything about needle brands or the sizes of needles, for example, and how many needles there are. So these are really important questions, mainly because you have to know that a lot of these needles come in 3 needles as one. So when you're digging a hole into the scalp, it's actually 3 needles, and but they're extremely small. And so you basically put 3 needles in top of your scalp, mainly because your hair follicles come in threes. A lot of people don't realize that your hair follicles come in threes, and so you want to make it look as natural as possible using this method. So if they don't know that these needles come in 3 in 1, then you know that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So it's really good that you test your consultant. Just ask them about needles, how many needles there are in one, the brand as well, and if they don't know anything like that, or if they say I don't know, or I get them from China, no idea, then you know that these people, they don't know what they're talking about. So just try and avoid them as much as possible, really. But if they do know about the needles, that's when you know they're experienced and they care about you as well. Because if they use cheap needles, they're just after the money. But if they're using if they're using expensive needles, then you know that they care about you, they care about the job, they care about giving you the best service, and that's what you need to look out for, guys. So be extra careful when you do that. The other thing is these needles need to be changed as well during the operation. So when I say operation, I mean you're not cutting into the skin. You're just kind of going in a little bit into the skin, not too much. And sometimes, after a few uses, you have to change the needles. Say after like 1,000 uses or something, or if you've been doing it for like a whole hour, then you might need to change the needle. And the reason is because after a while these needles they become overly used, and they're not as sharp. So you want to keep changing the needles every hour basically. And if they don't change the needles every hour, then you know that they don't know what they're talking about, because you have to have sharp needles. You got to make sure, you know, all the skin that's from your scalp is not stuck in the needle. So you got to change it every hour, sometimes sooner, depending on how fast you are. Sometimes people are very fast, and they can do 1,000 hits in like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. You know, it really depends how fast you are. But I would say like 1,000 hits on the head, or maybe like an hour's use. Then you've got to change the needle. So hopefully that makes sense, guys, and hopefully you come out of this with more experience, and